Today, day 5 of Davos appears to be wrapping up. And are we entering a Jetson age? We have a little bit more to come up. Good morning, and thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. It is Friday, and I just want to say hello to everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. And a hello to the loyal patrons, the subscribers, and the friends over on Periscope. Also, for those of you that have not checked out the Twitch situation, it is it's definitely a work in progress, but of course it doesn't happen without you guys. So that's why you can see that this stream is entitled a little bit Flash as well as a Twitch Drive. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that and literally what I'm on about when I say Twitch Drive and a little bit what the objective is there. So we're going to just do a word of thanks for the sponsors, and I'll be right back. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, there's something for everyone. So please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. All right. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning in. And if you are, as I've said before, if you're driving by with the window down, you're not sure if you're coming in, I appreciate you for considering Black Spring with Autumn on your Friday. And I will also be encouraging you guys, as always, to, if you could support us by just hitting the like button. Hello, Ronnie Man. Thanks so much for coming in. If you could support the channel by simply hitting the like button or the unlike button, or even dare to share the stream out, that's even better. Or even just on a more basic level, just make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. That'll help with the AI. And today I'm going to be on about a little bit more on AI and just, kind of giving it, sometimes you got to give things, a little bit of a benefit of the doubt is what I say, or sometimes I say the bit to fit the doubt. So that's where we're going to look at just a couple of things there, but also we're going to kind of look at that. It's also inspired by the Davos, some of the topics or the agenda of the Davos on day 4. And, so yeah, we'll get into that. We're going to look at some AI. I mean, remember the last stream, we went into some specifics we got into how AI can affect or will influence the health industry during these times, and actually what that might mean, for you. Like maybe it's coming to an area near you soon. So we're going to be kind of pivoting around AI quite a bit, and we're going to look at some of the sectors that are being named even at Davos from the Davos Day 4. And but before we get into that, I do want to say that I'm going to go back to the Twitch drive. Hello, Ronnie Man. I'm going to read your comment here. He says, can you give me a semi-quasi tutorial on how to connect with you on Twitch? Well, let me see if I can put that together for you, Ronnie Man. Well, let's see. What I do know is that either you can just go to, I think it's twitchtv.com. You can go to twitchtv.com and then you can just plug in. There's actually a search box on Twitch. So you can just plug in just Black Spring with Autumn and then, just hit the search button and it should come up. I think there are a couple of subcategories there. There's a bit of a tree there. So you can just plug in my name or plug in under categories, and you can go to like maybe podcasts or talk shows, podcast. That's where that's a subcategory that you can find my live stream or my channel on Twitch TV. And then there's an app also. There's an app. I'm not sure what device that you have, but you can just go to your device and just go to your app store or your Android store. I'm not sure your operating system, and just type in Twitch on there as well. And you can actually get the app, and then you can do the same things from a mobile device. I will tell you that I think that the Twitch experience, my aim is to make it more viewer driven and to give it a little bit more pizzazz. And yes, I mean, you can there's a little bit more expression, I think, on that platform for not just the viewers, but not just for the viewers, but also for my engagement. There are actual emotes there. I'm not saying that we don't have that here, but I think there's a little bit more. I think there's a little bit more interactive. The experience, I think, is going to be a little bit more interactive, and it's going to be a little bit more. It can be a little bit more engaging or a little bit brighter, and but then there again, I think it's viewer driven, and I also think that the more viewers that we have, or the more subscribers that we have, the more engaging and the more interactive it can be. So I think it's an interesting. I think the interface is interesting. I think the user experience, I'm still trying to get around that, but I do think that there's some fun things there. It's a little bit refreshing. Not that this platform is not, but I think it's yes, it has shellac, high shellac qualities, high shellac attributes for engagement. So I really appreciate it. And so, yes, thank you so much, Ronnie Man. So yes, the Twitch drive, I am going to talk about Twitch a little bit more. And so, yeah, but what I will say is it will depend on the subscribers and the engagement there, how much more interactive I make it. And I think there's some fun opportunities there. So we'll see what's going on there. And I look forward to seeing you guys over on Twitch. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to incentivize this drive, but the drive's going to go on for a little bit to get it up and running. And then, of course, I appreciate the feedback from you guys. This is what I consider an exchange. It's a relationship. So, and it's also a community. So the more community members we have, the more I can, try to tailor make it to and be responsive, make it a responsive platform, and even more responsive than this setting that we're on right now. All right. So there you go. And of course, I will run a Twitch ad, and you guys can. That was a great question. So what I can do is I will put something else onto the actual community tab telling you how you can get on Twitch. You do have to sign up for an account, I do believe. And I know it gets to be a little bit cumbersome to have to sign up for so many accounts, for so many different things. I mean, I'm aware of that, but it's unfortunately it's been a necessary disruption for me to add this to my list of housekeepings, if you will, or jump starters. So thanks so much. So what I want to do is I want to look at a few things. I find these things to be interesting, and I did open it up. I did kind of preface the opening of this with, are we entering a bit of a Jetson age? And I don't know, how close are you to incorporating smart home connectivity and AI around the house? I mean, maybe you want AI to do some things for you. I'm not sure, but I'm just saying that looks like the direction that we're going into. And I will use that to segue into the We Forum. As I said, the Davos was a 5-day event, and I do believe today is the last day. And there are some events, if you're interested, you don't have to take my word for it. You can always go on to theweforum.com and click on whatever section or whatever interest that you may have, whether it's AI, what's going on. I mean, it just looks like where we're going. This is where the needle is pointing. So, I mean, these are open forums. These are not so much, well, not everybody's going to go to Davos, but the platform, it seems to be open, and you can get in. You can even go backwards. You can go to day 1 or day 2 if you like. At this point, you can see what's happening. You can see what sectors are being represented there, whether it's technology or whether it's healthcare. All of that, you'll be able to see all of that on the weforum.com. So there's podcasts there. Hello, Melinda Ann Burns. It seems like it's been a lifetime. How are you? Hope you're well. And so yeah, you can if you want to get over there and see what's going on, because they've got themes for everything. Everything from tech for good is what we're going to kind of pivot around on, some topics related to that, and healthy futures. So, you'll have this information, whether it's useless information, because sometimes we glean information, and sometimes it's useless, but sometimes it just helps us navigate, or helps us make more informed decisions, because we know, whether we want to go that route or not. So, and from Ronnie Mann, he says, I have a quote smart house, end quote, and I disabled everything except the carbon monoxide detector. Now, I'm sorry to say, but Ronnie Mann, would you mind expounding on what you say when you said you have a smart house? You have a smart house, or maybe you don't want to expound on it. But I'm curious. A smart house. When I say smart house, I'm wondering, are you controlling? Are you using remote technology to? I think this is what I'm referring to. What I'm on about is, are you referring to remote controls of your home while you're away from home? Are you cooking that pot roast while for the next 5 hours until you get off from work? I mean, that's what I'm on about on that one when I say smart home. So maybe that's a little basic, but yeah, but I'm going to show you a couple of things here and get going here. But thank you guys so much for coming in, and I appreciate you for hitting the like button, the unlike button, or the share button. Also, I'm going to run an infomercial really quickly, and then we're going to have a look at the Davos Day 4, Tech for Good, harnessing the 4th industrial revolution. We've talked about this with Mr. Schwab, Klaus Schwab, that is, being the brain, or the founder of, I would even say the We Forum, as well as, he has his book on the 4th industrial revolution. And I will be right back. So you guys hang tight, and I'll be right back. guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. No way, Ronnie man. You have all of that going on. Oh, one day, I don't know if you're comfortable sharing any of that with us, sharing any of your the convenience of your smart home, or I don't know. Maybe you found it convenient, maybe not, but we'll see what happens. So what we're going to do is we are going to go now to we're going to go back a day. We're going to go back in time. That might sound a little bizarre or ironic in this day and time, but we're going to go back to day 4 of the harnessing of the we're going to frame around this harnessing the fourth industrial revolution. And that of course comes from the We Forum. And just a little bit, I'm just going to do a little bit of an abstract, and then we'll look at some specific items, because you guys know the other night we had to get a bit of an introduction for some and a reintroduction for some of Sophia, the humanoid robot, as well as Grace, who is, I think, going to be an introduction to the healthcare sector. And yes, and of course we learned also that they are planning on rolling out quite a few robots going forward. Hello, my friends. I have friends from the Live Effect. Thank you so much for coming in. And Gizmo 3, THR 300. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys for supporting and coming around. Here again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I want to tell my friends that this is just a reminder, that I get a reminder every single day or every single time I log on or I look at Periscope, that they are essentially shutting this element down. It's going to go to maybe a read only. I'm not sure what the format is, but you won't be able to watch this particular stream you won't be able to watch it on Periscope after March 31st. So that's a part of the Twitch drive. So it's a good thing that you guys are here and that you are checking in. So if you guys are interested, if you want to stay in the know and keep going, you can also view this on Twitch. You'll be able to view this program on Twitch. And I'm assuming that this is going to happen for everybody that's on Periscope, but I'm not sure. But I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up on that. So I appreciate you guys for the support, and I would hate to see you guys go away. So that's why I'm trying to give you a little bit of a heads up on that, if you weren't aware. So, all right. So let's get back to what I'm on about right now. I mean, I could be on about many things, but to me, this seemed to be a little bit more refreshing. It's been a long week. It seems it's been a kind of a wonky week in terms of just things that are happening or things that are developing, and so we're going to go just slightly away from that. I mean, we could go into a couple of things. I may go into one thing, but it's going to be very, very general and very basic. Yes, it's going to be very basic. So, all right. So back to the 4IR. And I do have a comment. Nope, it's not for me. It's for Ronnie Man. It's between Ronnie Man and Melinda Ann Burns. Thank you guys so much. Okay. And also, if you guys could please hit that like button and the unlike button or the share button, and please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel because of the AI. All right. So according to this was published on the 28th, which was yesterday. Now, the fourth industrial revolution technologies driven by artificial intelligence, AI, are expected to fundamentally change the world. In a recent global survey of 63% of CEOs said they believe that AI will have a larger impact than the internet. And I think that's pretty profound. I think that's pretty significant for them to make that assertion, or that's the aim. Okay. So this, what we're going to look at, I'm going to draw some items from, will be the leadership panel, which they examine how industries and governments can work in partnership to unlock this potential of the fourth industrial revolution technologies for the benefit of stakeholders in 2021. So, of course, in this panel, of course, you have people that are represented from all over the world. Of course, Davos has a, I can kind of see the, I think there's a dominance. You can already see that the dominance is it's already stacked, for the lack of a better word. You can see the triangle if you even just go to see who the participants were this year, and da 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 da. If you go into that, you'll see. But I think it would be wise, I think, if people, maybe check these things out, because you kind of get your roadmap or your blueprint on where we are, where we're going. And it's certainly more globally driven. Okay, so let me just get into just a couple of things here. I'm going to flash this. I'm going to share this screen with you, but I'm also going to just talk about a couple of things that came out during the panels. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning in. Hello, the definition of anarchy. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. It's nice to see you on Friday. And so I'm going to go ahead and share. I'm going to share the Davos agenda we're going to pivot around the day 4 is what we're going to do. So for example, here you see tech for good. You have a strategic context. We're not going to go into those, but I was just going to give you a few things that were mentioned here. And of course, you can go, I'll give you guys your own links so you can do your own diligence. But I will read this. Tech for good. New technology is always disruptive. It kills jobs, creates new ones, and ushers in profound social change. But the breakneck speed and sheer scale of this round of technical change is something else. It threatens the very definition of what it is to be human. We're being presented with a huge range of ethical dilemmas. How do we get together to agree the rules on things like genetically modified babies? Yikes. I'm sorry, this is my first time reading this. The robots of war, the algorithms that determine our life chances. Should we just slow things down a bit? Now that's coming from this site. Okay, these are open sites for those of you that are skittish about conspiracy theories. This is a public site. This is spoken about publicly. You can see it for yourself. So I will put that there for you, and then we'll move on. So that's a pretty wide scope. And I did talk to you guys about this once before in reference to Klaus Schwab and his book. So if you read his Fourth Industrial Revolution, he talks about the same kinds of things. So, what can I say? Hi, Daddy Days. Daddy Days says the like is blue. I'm not sure what you mean. Thank you so much, Ronnie Man. See there, Ronnie Man, like I said, you're the gold standard. You're the gold standard on Stripes. All right, so I'm going to get into this a little bit briefly, and I'll bring us out of that. So that was day 4. So we're going, I'm saying we're going back in time just slightly here. Okay, so what we have here is many of these discussions, as I mentioned, it included health, distribution, of course, of CV, mocktails, therapy during this environment that we're in, and education, broadband, and then, of course, the piece in which the role in which the government is playing, or what they are projecting their role is going to be in bringing this industrial revolution to bringing it into fruition, I guess. And they talk about, of course, the challenges and whatnot. So you have companies that are represented. You have, your Microsoft Core, Accenture. You have all of these companies and their presidents and you have their, as they say, higher ups present in this meeting. So I think that's kind of significant. Daddy Days, thanks so much for asking. I'm doing well enough. Okay, well enough. Glad to have you here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I do have something to share with you in terms of. I have a couple of liners to share with you on this subject. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And thank you so much, Ronnie Mann, for that. So if you guys are interested in any of these events, you can hop right on to the weforum.org. Thank you, Melinda Ann Burns. Thank you. God bless. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. It's nice to see you. And okay, so what we're going to do is just really quickly, and one of these might be, you might think these are slightly outdated, but maybe not. I mean, what if you get up and you go someplace and you see if see a Sophia someplace, or if you go, I don't know, if you go to some healthcare facility and you see a crew of Sophia or Grace characters, what do? Okay, so we're going to go into, I'm going to show you, we have Samsung has new robots, and maybe they can help you with your dishes. I don't know. I know everybody has their feel and their opinions about this type of technology, and even the what do I want to say, their concerns about invasive or the privacy. They have their concerns about it, but I can't say that that's that's not a concern. But I'm going to show you a couple of things, and then we're going to keep this on a lighter note on your Friday. So once again, I hope you guys are doing well, and if you could, please be sure to hit the like button if you're just coming in, or if you haven't decided if you're coming in or not. So we're going to take a couple of lines from cnet.com, as well as we have one other in which from the Popular Science. So that's popsci.com. So it feels like more of a pop. We're having a pop sci. We're turning into pop sci around here. Hello. And that is 540 Style AL. How are you? Thank you so much for coming in. And Melinda says, I can't see robots climbing a ladder and fixing my roof. I don't know. We'll see. Nice to see you, 540 STYLAL. All right, so let's get over there. We're going to go to CNET, and then we're going to go over to, we're going to see what we'll bring in the Samsung perspective on this. Okay, and Ronnie Mann, before I go, Ronnie Mann says this year's Davos main theme focuses on regaining trust. Yes, and wait for it. The great reset. So what I'm on about is, they've talked about how we are going to benefit, and it's all about the people. So I don't know. I mean, it's a compromise. What are you willing to give up to have your dishes done, or have your I don't know, maybe have your toilets scrubbed. I don't know, but we'll see what that looks like in just a second. I thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And for those of you that aren't aware of Twitch being our second home, or our viewer-driven second base home, if you could check that out, it's just Black Spring with Autumn. If you could plug it into the search box of twitch.tv, I think you will be able to go right to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to a CNET. This is an older article, but it's going to give us a little bit of landscape for where we're going, and then that'll be it. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right. So what you see before you, it comes from CNET. It says, after CES 2018, how close are we to the Jetsons? So I did mention the Jetsons earlier. All right. So with automated homes and consumer-ready robots on the rise, are we ready and able to finally bring the future into the present? Okay. So I'm going to keep going here. All right. So according to this, almost everything in quote the Jetsons end quote was automated, saving the human characters from lots of menial tasks. Perhaps that's why the show has persisted as a frame of reference, especially for the smart home and robots. The tech end quote, the Jetsons end quote, was all created for entertainment, but the ideals behind that tech ring true to the purpose of a lot of inventions we see at CES some 50 odd years later. I mean, after quote the Jetsons first aired. Now that CES is behind us, how close are we to that show's idealized version of the future? Well, you guys might be able to expound on that in just a little bit. But according to this, computers that can do it all, we've got them. Like I said, I hadn't actually watched quote the Jetsons end quote in a long time when I was on the floor at CES. So I rewatched the pilot and marveled at a few of the ideas on display. For starters, Jane Jetson calls for her mom not on a telephone, but on a TV screen so they can chat via video. Not only that, characters communicate using their watches. George Jetson is able to search and find his favorite newspaper using a small computer. Then he can just pull it up onto a separate screen. Given that you're likely reading this article on your computer, your tablet, your phone, or even your watch, none of those concepts should sound unattainable. Okay, automated everything. We're pretty close. Before Rosie comes along in the first episode, Jane Jetson plays the part of the dutiful homemaker by cooking and cleaning up after the family. Each of her tasks involves pushing a series of buttons. She has to push separate buttons to do the washing, ironing, and vacuuming. The main kitchen appliance has two large columns of buttons that she pushes to create a variety of instant meals. Okay, so of course, if you were to go to this site, you could check out all of the smart home products that were featured at the CES 2018 so far. So I'll put that link in the stream. If you want to go back in time, we're already back in time in this article, but I think it's still apropos, it's still relevant. It's very relevant. And yeah, so I'll keep going here. So the idea of automated chores drives a lot of modern smart home tech. However, the buttons for every idea from, quote, the Jetsons, end quote, has been replaced with a current trend of voice controls for everything. Thanks to Amazon's Alexa, Google Assistants, and Apple Siri, you can utter a command to turn on the lights, lock the doors, change the temperature, and even start the robot vacuum. Scratch that one off your, quote, Jetsons, end quote, wish list. Okay, according to this, at the CES 2018, voice controls were even more ubiquitous. You'll soon be able to give a voice command to your smoke detector on your light switch to control the rest of your devices in your home. The bathroom got smarter with voice-controlled showers and toilets as well as tubs that know how much water you want for your bath. We even saw a mirror that can judge your looks. As for preparing a full meal in a snap, smart appliances aren't quite there yet, but they still took strides in the right direction at CES. Like everything else, you can now control smart appliances from most major brands with your voice. Whirlpool showed off a microwave you can control with your voice that doubles as a convection oven, getting that much closer to an all-in-one machine that can cook any meal. Your fridge can yet transport ingredients to your oven, but Whirlpool just developed functionality for the Yumly app to let it recognize certain foods via the camera on your phone. Yumly will then recommend recipes involving the food and conform those recipes to your dietary restrictions. So this was, my gosh, guys, this was just 2018. I've never attended a CES. And hello, everybody in the stream. Once again, Dr. Bombay. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for coming in. And okay, so as you guys can see, I don't know, does anybody have any of these devices? I'm marveling. I'm marveling right now. But how much, but there again, it's a bit invasive, right? It's quite invasive. See, Ronnie Man is on it. Thank you so much, Ronnie Man. Okay, so we're going to keep going there, and then I will show you the just it's just a trajectory of everything. It doesn't really matter what sector, this just seems like we are in a web. We are in a web, and we've always had a sneak peek, or they've shown us what is possible. And I use that phrase quite a bit because I mean, I use it in context for music many times, but in this case, they've been showing us what's possible for years. That's my point. Whether it was via cartoons, your Saturday morning cartoons for us 80s babies, or of course, you had the Jetsons, you had Jim and the holograms, you had Inspector Gadget, you had um, you had tons of uh, tons of screens all the time. You always had something looking back at you. You always had a reflection, but you just didn't know. It was an unconscious. It was an involuntary. You had a. I don't know. I don't know if we've even with a bias, an unconscious bias that we've kind of lived our lives. But I'm reflecting on 1980s, 1990s when I see some of these products and some of the conveniences, if you will. But you know what? Apparently, to them, you don't get convenience without disruption. And nobody asks. If it's about the people, then why aren't they talking to the people about how they would like to be convenienced, or how they would like to be, or what's the least invasive that the convenience can bring? So I'll get back to what I'm on about here. So there you have the Whirlpool. And I've never seen these devices. I'm not sure if this is, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure you can walk into this. You can walk into an appliance store and say, hey, I'll take that microwave that's connected to the Yumly app and in the Whirlpool app that, the part that tells you what's in your refrigerator, we're going to make dinner based on what's in the fridge, which that's very savvy. But I don't know. Do you want people in your refrigerator? I mean, for people that drink milk, do you want people to know how long you want somebody looking at how long you actually drink milk past the expiration date? It's just this kind of, that's on a low level of invasive, I think. Just saying. Look who's here, the Lockhart perspective. So yeah, look at Ronnie Man. Ronnie Man, you're already ahead of the game. You've got the Google, you've got apps and everything. You're already or do you want people to know whether you chose a probiotic that needed to be refrigerated, or you chose the one that's just in a bottle on a shelf someplace? So I'll keep going here. All right, so the robot helpers making progress. So just for kicks here, real quick, just in this microwave that you see, according to this, LG unveiled an AI named Chloe that could help bridge what we have now to the future of, quote, the Jetsons, end quote. Chloe, via the LGB Hub robot, can track the food in your fridge and recommend recipes. Then start preheating your oven when you know what you want to cook. You'll still need to do the cooking, but machines that can recognize food and appliances that talk to each other could help make that necessity a thing of the past. Yeah, that's a lot of communication. It's a lot of communication. But the thing about it is, it also takes it out of your hands. So, I'm not sure how much you want to lose control there. All right, so back to the robot helpers making progress. At last year's CES, I noticed that you could almost make Rosie the robot if you combine the pieces of a bunch of different robots. This year, one product brought nearly all of those pieces together. It looks like Aeolus. In concept, Aeolus basically is Rosie the robot, and I was quite enthralled by all the tasks Aeolus could theoretically accomplish around the house. Aeolus recognizes faces and responds to voice commands. Aeolus has a touchscreen if you want a more tangible means of interaction. It's a mobile robot with wheels and a body that raises and lowers so it can reach high places. Okay, so I guess this is Aeolus right here. Um, I haven't seen any robots anywhere, and I haven't seen any self-driving cars yet. So, and according to this, as you can see, this robot, maybe it's Aeolus, says your first in-home robot. Surprise! It's probably you have to take a course, a starter's course, to get this technology. You can't go from your first you can't go to like level 3 robot unless you've had this one. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not making the rules. I'm just saying what's out there. Okay, so more importantly, Aeolus can map your home, remember what objects look like, and associate those objects with a place in your home. Aeolus can pick up a mess by putting objects away. It has arms that move and allow it to grip, so it could grab you a beer from the fridge. Its arms could even allow it to grab a vacuum and clean up. Aeolus is awesome. It's also huge, and I imagine seeing Aeolus roll to you slowly at night while extending that can of beer you asked for would be a rather harrowing experience. Aeolus is still very much a prototype. It'll be prohibitively expensive when and if it comes out, but that's how new tech tends to start: expensive and unwieldy. A real life helper robot might not be functionally the same as Rosie to do all the same tasks. A robot might not need arms that hold a vacuum in order to vacuum. Again, we have robot vacuums now, so a roaming robot with a vacuum built near its wheels isn't a big stretch. At CES, we saw consumer-ready robots capable of mapping and patrolling your home. Keeker could even project your favorite show on the wall you're looking at, and that's on sale now. So I don't know if are you guys ready? You guys ready for this? LG and Honda also showed off concept robots that act as hotel porters, construction site carriers, restaurant servers, and more. Rosie rolled on wheels, but we're starting to see consumer-ready robots that walk. We also saw a cute robot dog called Abo. In case you're looking for an automated pet, the Jetsons actually had a real dog. It just talked. So I don't know. I think this is the Jetsons 10 point. It's a bit heavy. The Lockhart perspective says, "Yikes." Yes, I don't know where these. I don't know. With it being 2020, I would imagine that there's some of these items that are out there. I would imagine that there are. And Melinda Ann Burns says, if you are vertically challenged, just get out of those platforms. Just get out those platform shoes for the top shelves. So we'll see. I'm not going to give you all of that. I think it's probably giving you most of. But this is CES 2018. I'm not sure if they had a CES 2021. I would imagine that they did. But as you can see here, you have your LG and your LG branded machines, and then of course they have 12 more on the right, and that is Sophia to the right. Now we did explore Sophia and her new friends coming down the pike. So I'm thinking that those, if I'm not mistaken, we saw that those are supposed to come out the first half of the year. I don't know, maybe healthcare is where you're going to see those first, but I would love to know what you guys think about these these disruptive conveniences. So, oops, I'm going too far here. Don't mean to take you to GameStop here. So we're almost to the end of this one, and then I will show you one more, and we'll have a video. But this is looks like this is where we're going, and I'm sure there's going to be regulations, and in the government's working on chat bots to help you, Even get your mocktails, and that they're doing a big push for that. I mentioned Microsoft and Accenture. So that's all. The chat bots are going to probably take the place of a lot of the bureaucracy. Of course, you guys are aware of the amount of the EOs that have been signed. I think 13960 was one of the ones. So yeah, they're building back better with technology. Okay, that's where we're going. So to round this one out, check out the rest of the details on the robots of the CES here. The consumer-ready robots are finally becoming a reality, and the tech we need to make a real-life Rosie that's friendly and accessible is there somewhere. Even if the robots we end up with don't exactly resemble the Jetsons version, as we noted a couple of years ago after CES, we could end up with more of a central computer manager than a doting robot maid. Okay, and to wrap this one up, instant flying travel, not yet realistic. Now, while CES showed us that we're getting surprisingly close to, quote, the Jetsons, end quote, on a few fronts, we don't have flying cars yet. You can also push a button and whisk your son away to school in a tube. You can't push a button and whisk your son away to school in a tube. Cars are getting smarter thanks to some of the same voice assistants from smart home. Autonomous cars are on the rise as well. But most of, quote, the Jetsons' vision of convenient travel is still more fiction than science. We saw a lot of visions of the future at CES 2018. It's stunning how close the vision is in parts to the vision of TV writers from the 60s. While we're still not quite there in a couple of aspects, it's also pretty exciting that we're pretty close to accomplishing feats that they could only dream of. All right, so there you go. I think we put this one there. I'll put it there in case you guys want to dig around more. I don't know. Maybe you want to be on the fast track. Maybe you're not waiting on the Build Back Better initiatives. You just want to do what you want to do at your own speed. So there you go. And hello, Old Head Deuce. Thank you so much for coming in. Ronnie says AI still doesn't like the video for you, so please visit the like button. All right, so for our final trick today, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to go over to a Samsung. I'm going to go over to a Samsung, and we'll have a little bit of a video for you there. I'll give you a little bit of landscape. And I'll open it up just for a few minutes, and then we will pack it up and fold it in on today. I hope you guys are doing well out there, and thanks so much for tuning in. All right, so this one comes from a Popular Science. And this one is your Samsung's new robots will do the dishes and nag you to get offline. So, maybe that's what the AI is doing right now. They're nagging me. They're subverting things. So some helpful bots debuted at CES 2021. So a nice follow-up, right? This was written by Stan Horacek on January 13th, 2021. Okay, so as you can see, that looks like a little bit of an upgrade, right? So it's already an upgrade from the 2018 one, right? So we're going to keep going here, and then of course we're going to premiere a little bit of their video here. It says he could make a huge mess, and those robots would clean it, but they would also judge him for it. All right. So if you mess up something, I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know. Does anybody out there have any of these devices already? Okay. So according to this, imagine a robot the size of a kitchen trash can is rolling around your home, nagging you to get off the computer and go outside before you get into the 4th hour of watching Twitch streamers. Open old packs of Pokemon cards. Then a different robot sets a table for a nice meal before doing the dishes. That's the future Samsung envisions with its new robotic concepts on display at the virtual CES. So they had a virtual CES. All right, so we're going to get back to that. Okay. All right, so I'm going to play this one for you. Hope you guys are doing well. So let's see what this one is about. This is called Bot Care. Okay. Bot Care. I'm going to zoom in right now. And this is coming from Popular Science or Pop Sci. I remember the magazine. All right, so we're going to play this one.
You've been on your computer too long. How about stretching and taking a short break?
All right, are you guys digging that? Better normal for all? How's that for you? All right, guys. I thank you guys so much for coming in, and I will open this up just for a few minutes on your Friday. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to go to a commercial real quick, infomercial. And please check out Twitch. We're available. We're going to be trying to drive it up a little bit. We're going to make it subscriber driven, subscriber friendly, and add a few more visuals, a few more graphics for you, and just a few more bells and whistles there. A little different than this. So I'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So, yes, and I'm going to read a comment here. Linda Ann Burns says, TLP, we are fine, just trying to stay warm. So I'm going to go through and say hello to everyone in the chat. And thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, my friends. Oh, thank you. Thank you. The Lockhart perspective. It's, like I mentioned to you before, like we just have stuff and need to get rid of some stuff. I was just kind of pulling out something, that I don't wear very much. And it's also warm. All right. So I'm just going to go through and say hello to everybody in the stream. And so we're going to probably wrap up here in under 7 minutes. I know it's Friday, so, take the link if you like. And Ronnie Man, thank you so much for coming in and taking care of and being a gold standard stripe for us. Really appreciate it here. I look forward to seeing you over on Twitch without a doubt. And Melinda Ann Burns, thank you so much for coming in. It's nice to see you. I look forward to seeing you all the time. It's good to have you here. Hope to see you on Twitch in the future. And Gizmo THR 300, thank you so much for coming in. It's nice to see you. And the live effect, thank you so much over on Periscope. It's really important for you guys to have an alternative, because you're not going to, it's not just me. I'm thinking it's going to be the entire Periscope. The entire platform is going to go down for, whoever. Your other 10 subscriptions may go down as well. So hate to miss you guys. Of course, YouTube will be here, for as long as who knows. But then, of course, that's why we're doing the Twitch drive, and we'll keep driving Twitch. In fact, we'll probably do a direct stream from Twitch just to see how that goes. And it'd be nice to have you guys over to just give me some feedback, and we'll see how the user experience is. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Melinda Ann Burns. Definition of Anarchy, thank you so much for coming in. You guys should get over and check out the content creators, the whole stream. We always have great chat guests as well as great content creators, and the Definition of Anarchy is no different. And Daddy Days, thank you from Germany for coming in. I really appreciate it. And let's see, 540 style, is that Alabama? 540 style Alabama. I'm assuming that that's the whole thing. You just did it in short. Thank you so much for coming in and supporting. Dr. Bombay, I appreciate you so much for coming in. Thank you so much. And let me just read this. I missed this comment from Ronnie Mann. He says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" See, there you go, Ronnie Mann. You're totally, what can I say? You're throwing it back to, what is that? Is that Snow White, maybe? It was the Wicked Queen or something? It seems that was that her, or either that became a common reflection or something, cue for everybody that had a mirror in that cartoon. And the Lockhart perspective, of course, always nice to have you here. Thank you so much. And let me just say this for those of you, the Lockhart perspective did a phenomenal job on our interview, and should get over there and see what's happening on the Lockhart perspective if you haven't. Very esteemed guest on her last interview, and it was absolutely superb, professional, and I mean that's just what you can expect on the Lockhart perspective. So if you go over there and see what's happening, and you won't be disappointed. And Old Head Deuce, thank you so much for coming in. It's nice to see you as always. So I'm going to read a couple of comments here. The Lockhart perspective says, "I start going through things to give away and discover a brand new wardrobe. Hence, I end up keeping it all." Well, I don't know. I'm not even a matchy. It seems like the older I get, I'm going for something totally. I don't know. I'm going for something with. I'm all about spectrum, I guess, these days. I'm just not really, and it seems to be more rewarding than what I was doing before. So I'll just stick with that. Just can I say, rock what you have. You'll be amazed at what you can do. And let's see. Ronnie Mann says we need to learn smoke signals for when the grid goes down. Old school media. Right, Ronnie Mann. If you have anything to share on that, we'll take it. Especially around here. Mirror of truth. Because I say this all the time. I always say, I can learn something from everyone, and I do expect to do that. I think that's what that's what an effective community does, or any community, you can learn something from everybody, and why not? Let's see, in the Lockhart perspective. Yeah, so I just wanted to try to, I think they're showing you they're not showing you anymore. They're telling you what's possible, and they're telling you what they're doing, whether it be on the government level when it comes to AI, whether it's from big box, they're telling you, they're not only telling you what's possible, they're showing you, look, this is what we're doing. And of course, we all have our feelings about that. We all want to preserve, our privacy. And to me, even that's going to be a luxury. Privacy is going to be a cost. It's going to be a cost. And how many people are going to have that? But yeah, I think the We Forum is a huge blueprint, and it's an interactive one. It's always in progress. Like, I think, because even though it's day 5, they're still going on right now. So if you want to check out, the We Forum at DAVOS agenda, it's all there for you. In fact, I don't know, maybe next year you want to go to Davos. I don't know, but I think that's a different conversation. And the Lockhart perspective says, a slam book, write something and pass the book. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. And I am so serious about inviting you guys over to Twitch. And I think I had a few people to come over yesterday, but yeah, so it's like we're kind of we're building up this second platform together. So I'm inviting you to be a part of the process, not just the community, but if we build it up together, then we kind of it's more advantageous. You'll get more of an experience that you can appreciate, or you can be more involved. Yeah, maybe you can say hello to somebody in a different way rather than what you've been doing here. And I think that's kind of unique. It's kind of unique in that way. And Linda Ann Burns says, we are being told instead of being asked. Have y'all noticed that? What is wrong with this picture? That's a great question, Melinda Ann Burns. And Old Head Deuce says, I have Twitch. All right, Old Head. I'm gonna look for you on Twitch one day. Let's see. Ronnie Mann says, Davos is publicly telling you the global agenda. Keep an eye and ear out on the goings on. Information is power. Amen, Ronnie Mann. Yes, and they're also showing you the nation states. They're showing you to me also the superpower. They're showing you, whether we like it or not, or whether we agree or not, they're showing you who's who. And I'm going to be honest, I think Huawei is going to play a huge role and in this technology. I'm not going to sit here and say or try to project what type of regulations or how they're going to share this kind of information, the infrastructure, and how it's going to be shared, or what level of privacy is going to be afforded to you in a situation like this. But I'm thinking, you can see it now. You can see the bricks being laid. So don't get taken by surprise. All right, guys. So with all that said, I'm going to run one final infomercial, and then we're going to say so long on your Friday. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. All right. I want to thank you guys so much again for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And also, I forgot almost, I am running full podcast on your favorite podcast program or platform. So you might want to get over to your favorite podcast if you don't have time for the visual on the channel. You can get over there. I think there's up to at least 6 platforms there. Even on the channel page, the channel homepage, you can at least see that the Spotify link is there. But there's Google Podcasts, there's Breaker, there's Pocket Cast, there's Anchor, and I believe there's one other there. So the podcasts are available. And I look forward to seeing you guys around. And I will do an announcement when I actually go live directly from Twitch, and we'll probably put that in also as a part of the Twitch drive. And I look forward to seeing you guys next live stream in the comment section on a video or over on Twitch. You guys have a great weekend.